Steve Davies' toughest selection so far, and there are a few talking points in there.
Yeah, there's a few ingredients needed to win in Ireland, Ross, and particularly the RDS. But the Ospreys are a bit of a nemesis to Leinster, and it's at half-back that the crucial selection is. And I think it's the right selection to have Webb and Biggar there tonight. Steve Tandy needs these two functioning at the crucial part of the season. Webb and his sniping around the rucks, and the experience of Dan Biggar controlling the game. It's in the back three that there's some contentious decisions. Hassler wins his 50th cap, and Ben John gets a reward for some great performances in the centre. But the contentious one is Sam Davies at 15. Dan Evans can consider himself unlucky as a tradesman 15. It's a gamble by Steve Tandy. What will he bring? An extra kicking game, an extra first receiver. But it is a gamble, Ross. And if it doesn't pay off, Jonathan Sexton will have a great night.
And it is a gamble, Sean, like you say, but Sam Davies did him out of position a few times and put some little dinks over. Yeah,
contentious selection. We talked about him playing 15 or 10, and it's fine with the ball, but without the ball, he was found a little bit wanting early on in this game. Leinster are bright sparks. They know how to play the game, and they found some space with Sam Davies. He's a tradesman 10, and look, he's in the front line here. You see that. That obviously is going to leave some space. So even if it's shipped in a sewer, he's intelligent enough to know that there's a lot of space, and that gives the territory and the pressure. You can see Sam Davies scuttling back, he kicks it into touch. Here again now, he's a little bit too eager to come into the defensive line. There's good shape from the Ospreys back line in defence. He doesn't need to come up so early. And again, you can see, look how high on the field he is coming up. That means, and Jonathan mentioned this in commentary, a lot of work for the blindside wing to do, and he leaves this side. And it led to the territory and the pressure, and this was a lovely little slip play from Cian Healy. A lot of pressure, and just this little slip. He looks like he's going to pick and go. Alan Wynne-Jones and Tipuric in position, but that little lift and then slip commits Tipuric. It's enough for a one-on-one, and that was a deserved try.
Thanks, Sean. And with the wind, we've seen the ball, and it hasn't been often in that first half. That Leinster defence has just snuffed everything out.
Yeah, this is upper level, Ross. You know, this is European stuff now. And Leinster are traditionally a push side. Goffey will tell you that, but they've come with a lot more line speed. Look how they're rushing up here, really committing themselves. Dave Carney right up in their faces here. And this wasn't just once. You know, this must be something Lancaster has brought. You can see Dan Biggar. The intent is to really apply a lot of pressure onto him. But it's not just on the line speed, it's at the ruck. If they get a sniff, they're flooding that and trying to put pressure on the ruck as well. So it's a purposeful intent in defence from Leinster, and it's causing the Ospreys problems.
Yeah, and like Sean says, Stuart Lancaster, offloading game and the kind of box of tricks he has, but he just tried something that wasn't on at the end of that first half, and it led ultimately to that try. You know, intent to play is one thing, yes, but then sensibility, you're 17-0 down, your ill discipline is costing you in the game. They run it out, it's a speculative offload, and at 17-0 you've got a team talk as a coach. Against these, at the RDS, at 24-0, you haven't got a team talk. And, you know, Sexton kicked the conversion, the pressure told again. As Ian rightly said, this turned a 10-minute yellow card because the ball hadn't gone off the field to a 13-14-minute yellow card. Had they kicked it off the field, gone back to 15, then Steve Tandy would be saying 2 tries, 1 penalty, we're back in this, boys. But at 24-0, Ross, tall order. Yeah, it seems like almost fair to say that's something of a left field selection. Not many people in Wales would probably have known who Matt Sherratt was this time last week. You know who he was, Sean, because he was one of your colleagues at Bristol. Good appointment?
Yeah, it is. I've known Matt a long, long time, even before I went to Bristol, and he's a good coach. You know, he is a young coach. He's just 40, but he's been around a long, long time, and he's technically very, very good. He's come up through a system, and tactically has really grown. You know, in the 3 years, I actually had Danny and Matt, and they're a good coaching team. They complement one another, so it's nice. A good voice for the players. The players will like him, and it's a real good appointment. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. It is a job share, so he will. A game of 2 halves, or maybe a game of 3/3. Johnny Sexton, though, we talked about him at the beginning of the programme, and his individual battle with Dan Biggar. He just showed his class throughout that game, didn't he? Yeah, he had a lot of front foot ball, you know, the ill discipline added to that, the Ospreys, you know, with their own worst enemies. But once Sexton gets front foot like that, then they're pretty ominous. So his kicking game was good. When they were giving penalties away, the Ospreys, he'd put them in the corner and they were under pressure. But this was a real key part of his game, going forward, bringing runners into play. And then when they got ahead, he just didn't need to do anything other than chisel it forward, keep his forwards moving forward. And then it resulted, you know, in the consummate try, really. Van der Leer was the man of the match, but as Jiffy said, Sexton contributed. Great ball and finish, and that put pay to any real chance of the Ospreys coming back. Glasgow leading 22-17 in that game.